Hi, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be just quickly going through my stroygraph TBR. I do have some shelves on there where I have tags for like the books that I own physically, which you can see some behind me, and then the books that I own on Kobo. So I'll probably keep all of those, but essentially there are a lot of books that I've added to my like want to read list over the last couple of years, maybe like 5 years, I guess, because I think it also imported my Goodreads information. So it's just a lot of books on there, and I'm sure that some of them I've lost interest in, or maybe I have duplicates or something like that. I know that Goodreads used to have a find duplicates option, which was really easy, and I don't think Storygraph has one. I will look around when I get started, but essentially I just want to whittle it down and really curate it to be things that I am currently interested in, because as you know, your reading tastes will change depending on like what season of life you're in, how old you are, like where you're at in your personal growth, and just your tastes changing in general. So today I'm going to just kind of go through it quickly and just try to A, make it smaller, but B, just make it feel more like exciting and be like an actual list of things that I'm interested in and excited to read. Let's hop on over to my screen record so we can get started. Okay, so as you can see here, this is my page on Storygraph. I'm just going to scroll down and show you that I have some tags here. I have my owned TBR ebooks, the NetGalley TBR. These are like ARC ebooks I've gotten as well. I have a shelf of books I've DNF'd. Now you can mark books as DNF'd like in Storygraph itself, but I find that sometimes I get like 80% of a way through a book and I want to mark it as read because I want it to count towards my reading goal. And Storygraph, I don't think counts your DNFs towards your reading goal, even if you've read almost the entire book. So I usually just mark them as read and then I'll tag it as DNF. And then in my like review, I'll put the percentage like where I stopped and stuff. But if I read a lot of a book, I usually will count it if I read like over 40% of the book, because at that point I'm like, I've read at least the novella's worth of pages, so I'm going to count it for my reading goal, even if I'm DNFing the book. So that's why I have that there. And then I have my own physical TBR. I have two other shelves as well for ARCs I read this year, and then ARCs I read last year. I've already caught up to the amount of ARCs I read last year. Last year was just awful for me in general. So I really didn't do a lot of reading, especially especially in the second half of the year last year, because we moved and everything happened after that. But this year we're on track to do better than we did last year, and that's all we could hope for. So I'm going to go to my to read pile. There's 492 books on here. And then I believe I can filter out my tags. That would be great, right? Tags, yeah, exclude. Okay, so we're gonna exclude owned TBR and owned physical, and then we're going to filter that. And I don't see a way to look for duplicates. Yeah, I'm not seeing a way to filter for duplicates, so that's fine. But this one I just added recently because my friend was raving about it, Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. This one I'm not so sure. I'm gonna open this in a new tab and then look at the synopsis. There's always been a darkness to Ilmar, but never more so than now. The city chafes under the heavy hand of the Palestine occupation, the chokehold of its criminal underworld, the boot of its factory owners, the weight of its wretched poor, and the burden of its ancient curse. Wanderers, murderers, madmen, dark grove of trees, primeval remnant. Oh, wait, that sounds really good. We're going to leave that. Practical Magic is one that I do want to read. And I also think that the members of my book club want to read it. And so I think I can read it with them, which would be great. Geo Magician is new. That sounds so good. Wayward Children, I will always read those. Girl Makes Duke, number 3, I do want to get to soon. Myrtle at Spender Manor, I've heard good things about from some people, and then I've heard mixed things about it from other people, so let me just read this real quick. For Huntress Isabeau Agarwal, the countryside inn is the last stop in a deadly hunt. Armed with a gas lamp and guns, she tracks an insidious beast that wears the skin of its victims, mimicking them perfectly. 10 guests reside with Spindle Manor tonight, and the creature could be any one of them. Ooh, wait. Is this like a murder mystery that takes place in like a single location and people get picked off one by one? Okay, that sounds fun. I'll give it a try. Why not? It's short enough. If I don't like it, could always DNF it. This one, I literally can't remember what it's about. The year is 1883, and the mining town of Goetia is booming as prospectors from near and far come to mine the powerful new element divinity from the high mountains of Colorado with the help of pariahs in society known as the Fallen. The Fallen are the descendants of demon kind living amongst the virtues, the winners of an ancient war with the descendants of both sides. Okay, wait, this sounds interesting. Abaddon's Mountain. Is this like, it says historical fantasy. It kind of gives me like Bible vibes, but like not in a bad way. The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, I do want to read. This one, The Sky on Fire by Jen Lyons, I do want to read, as well as Burn by Patrick Ness. These covers are also very similar. This of Flesh is a short story collection, and I love the cover, but I don't read a lot of like anthologies, and so it's not very long though, which is a plus. Amelia Hart wrote a horror? Okay, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it just because of that. No Exit by Taylor Adams, I've heard is great. I will leave that one. In the House in the Dark of the Woods. This is an older horror. So let's see what this is about. Once upon a time, there was and there wasn't a woman who went to the woods. In this horror story set in a colonial New England, ooh, I'm from New England, a law-abiding Puritan woman goes missing, or perhaps she has fled or abandoned her family, or perhaps she's been kidnapped and set loose to wander in the dense woods of the north. Alone and possibly lost, she meets another woman in the forest. Then everything changes. On a journey that will take her through dark woods full of almost human wolves, through a deep well with the screams of men. Screams of men? Say less. I'm keeping it. We're keeping it on there. Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret. I will be keeping that. The Devils, I don't know. I've never read a Joe Abercrombie before, and I've heard mixed things about that one, but I'll leave it for now because it is kind of newer. I definitely want to read this. This book, if I remember correctly, I added it because it was part of a video I did where I read Reddit's recommendations for their favorite books by Black authors. This one did not pique my interest as much, and I ended up reading the P. Djeli Clark book in that video. I don't think I want to read this one still because although it is magical realism, let's read it. Wei Tu Moore's powerful debut novel, She Would Be King, reimagines the dramatic story of Liberia's early years through three unforgettable characters who share an uncommon bond. Gbessa, exiled from the West African village of Lai, is starved, bitten by a viper, and left for dead, but she still survives. June Day, raised on a plantation in Virginia, hides his unusual strength until a confrontation with the overseer forces him to flee. Norman Aragon, the child of a white British colonizer and a maroon slave from Jamaica, can fade from sight when the earth calls him. When the three meet in the settlement of Monrovia, their gifts help them salvage the tense relationship between the African American settlers and the indigenous tribes as a new nation forms around them. Ooh, okay. Okay, I like this because it's historical and magical realism, which I do like. I haven't read much historical magical realism. I've read Wayward and The Sirens by Amelia Hart. I would consider those both historical and magical realism, but I'll keep it on here. I honestly just forgot what it was about. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, I do want to read Wake Up and Open Your Eyes. I absolutely want to read that one. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. We will keep it. Another T. Kingfisher. We will keep it. Another T. Kingfisher. We will keep it. Kaiju number 8. I love the anime, but I'm gonna just delete the manga from my TBR because I'm not sure. This one, The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson, I am not interested. I don't have anything against Mary E. Pearson, but all of her books just have a lot of romance in them, I think, and I'm just not interested in that right now, especially if they're like YAs, because I just don't think like the romance gives me enough like nuance in a YA romantasy. I have been enjoying historical romance, but unfortunately this one is gonna get cut for now. Can always add them. Oh, why did I mark it as do not finish? I meant to do that. Okay. Flamer is a graphic novel. I do want to read that one. I do want to read Fledgling. I do want to read Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. I'm gonna remove it. Listen, I loved If We Were Villains, and I've heard really bad things about Graveyard Shift from people I trust, so I'm just not gonna read it. I want to keep The Star Touched Queen by Roshani Chachki, even though like this is quite an older book by now. I feel like it might hold up, you know? I'm gonna at least give it a try. The God of the Woods I do want to read. The Six Deaths of the Saint is super short. I will get to it eventually. Faerie, I would love to read. This one, The Ancient Magus Bride, I am gonna remove that one. I don't think I'm interested anymore. Solo Leveling, I love the anime and will be probably reading the manga. I really want to read Sailor Moon. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid, so I want to get into that as well. Pure Nessie, I've heard is great. The Bone Season, I did read 100 pages of in DNF, but that was the older version before she rewrote them. So I think I want to give it another try now that she's rewritten it, because I did love Priory of the Orange Tree, which she also wrote. So I'm hopeful. This one, The Jinn Daughter by Rania Hannah. I literally don't remember ever hearing about this book in my life. Nadine is a Hakawati Jinn, and she has one job, telling the stories of the dead. She rises every morning to gather pomegranate seeds. Ooh, I love pomegranates. The souls of those who have died, that have fallen during the night. With her daughter Layala at her side, she eats the seeds, tells their stories, and passes the departed through the final gate of death. Wait, this sounds good. But when the seeds stop falling, Nadine knows something is terribly wrong. All her worst fears are confirmed when she is visited by Death herself. I love that Death is a woman. Kamuna, who rules the underworld, to reveal her desire for replacement. It is Layala she wants. Oh my god. Nadine will do anything to keep her daughter safe, but Kamuna, too, has little patience and a ruthless drive to get what she has come for. Layala's fate, meanwhile, hangs in the balance. Rooted in Middle Eastern mythology. Ooh. Okay, wait, that does sound really good. I don't ever remember hearing about this book in my life. It sounds great. I'm going to leave that. The Ritual by Adam Neville, I've heard is good, so I'm going to leave it. It's quite long, though, which kind of sucks. I like shorter horror. This one I will leave. This one I will leave. Knock Knock Open Wide I will leave, but I kind of feel like I own this one. Do I have another edition of this on my... Yeah, look. Right here. Own TBR book. So I'm going to delete this one. Will that keep the other one that I do have? To read. Okay, great. Okay, yeah, so it kept the one I have. That was a duplicate. I was going to say, I definitely think I own that one. Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I like TJ Klune's writing. I've read 2 of his other books. But I just don't think I'm interested in werewolves, like as like a romance, as like a romantasy. I'm going to remove it. Sorry, Mare. Electo the Ninth, would love to read it. Where is it, Tamsin? Let's get on that, please. The Final Strife. I read Sarah L. Arifi's other book, Feybound. I read half of it. I was so excited for it. I had it pre-ordered. I pre-ordered a special edition. I got like 58% of the way through and I was just really bored. I don't think I want to read The Final Strife, although I heard from someone else who also didn't like Feybound that The Final Strife was better. I'm just going to remove it. If I ever think of it or want to read it, I'll get it at the library. The Compound by Gwenna McAllis. That's a horror. I'm going to leave it. I'm probably going to leave a lot of the horror because they're usually quicker to get through. So Kindred by Octavia Butler, I will be leaving. Ruth Ware, however, I kind of think I'm like over Ruth Ware. So I'm just going to remove that. The Will of the Many, I've heard is great. Unfortunately, I heard the second one wasn't that good, but oh well. I would like to try this Mark Lawrence book sometime. City of Stardust, I've heard is good. We'll keep that. I have one book by LaSalle Sandberry on my shelves. If I read it and love it, I will keep this one. Like, I'm going to keep it for now. But if I don't end up liking that one, I'll probably come back and just delete this one as well, because it is YA, so they can be hit or miss again. Out There Screaming, I would like to try. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. I'm going to remove. This has been on my TBR for literally so fucking long, and I've just never gotten to it. So I'm going to leave Silver Nitrate, Cursed Cocktails as well. I think I'm going to remove Cursed Cocktails. Although I think I own this on ebook. Is that true? Let me see the editions. No, none of these are tagged. Okay, so I can safely remove that from my TBR. Traveling Cat Chronicles, I would love to try. After the Forest. Actually, I don't think I'm interested in this that much. I don't know. I think I am. Oh, it's like Hansel and Gretel after they escape. Okay, sure. This one, is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh, yes, this is about men who are old going back to be warriors. I love that. Midnight Library, I do want to read. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. Wait, do I own this? I feel like, no, I don't. Okay. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. I feel like this one I might own on ebook. I wish this was easier to determine if I had, no, I don't. You just have to kind of check the tags, I guess. Fire Keeper's Daughter, I do want to read still. Untethered Sky, I read Jade City by Fond du Lis, and I DNF'd it. I didn't really like it. I was just bored. It wasn't really bad. I just like wasn't into it. So I will try the Untethered Sky. Blood Trials, I have been trying to buy this at Barnes & Noble for years. Every single Barnes & Noble I go to, they don't have it. Even though on their website, it says it's in stock in the store. And then I go to the store and they're like, oh, we don't have it. And I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm just gonna have to order it online. My library doesn't have it either. Certain Dark Things I've heard is good. Ooh, Briar Dark sounded good. Is this a romance? No, that's just horror. Fantasy horror? What is this? Hold the phone. For Dr. Sienna DuPont and her ambitious team, the Alpenglow Glacier Expedition is a career-defining opportunity, but 30 miles into the desolate Dead Switch wilderness, they discover a missing hiker dangling from a tree. Yikes. And their satellite phone fails to call out. Then the body vanishes without a trace. The disappearance isn't the only chilling anomaly. Sienna's map no longer aligns with the trail. The glacier they were supposed to study has inexplicably melted. Oh, okay, wait. Sounds better than I thought it would. Okay. We'll leave it there. I don't remember ever hearing about that one. This Junji Ito I'm gonna remove, but I have other ones on here that I do still want to read, but I just kind of don't really care about. Black Paradox, I don't think. I'm gonna leave The Hollow Places. I'm gonna leave The Hollow Kind. I'm gonna leave The Children on the Hill. I've heard that's good. Morty Kingfisher. The Haunting of Alejandra. Is this YA? Don't know. A woman is haunted. No, so I think this is grown up. Okay, since it's adult, I'll leave it. Project Hail Mary, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck. I'm sorry. Andy Weir, I just don't care. All your books are fucking movies. If I want to read them, I'll watch them. Descendant of the Crane, I've heard is good. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I feel like I have this on ebook. Do I? Is this a duplicate? No, I don't think so. Okay, this one I don't really think I'm super into it. It's like too much romance and not enough fantasy, but it's also not a romantasy. It's like, it feels like a contemporary romance, even though does that make sense? Like, it feels like it's contemporary romance just in a magical setting, but it's not actually like a fantasy. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm gonna leave Just Like Mother. I've heard that's good. Just Like Home, I've also heard is good. Leech, I've heard is good. The Liminal Zone, I do want to leave that by Junji Ito. Ocean's Echo, I read the first one so long ago, and I'm just not gonna pick up the second one. I'm so sorry. House of Leaves, I'd love to try it sometime. Come For Me with Apples, I really want to get to. I've heard a lot of good things about it. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, I'm going to move it. This is a romantasy, and I've heard it's really good. Like, no shade, but it's just YA. I don't really care. This remove. Yes. Okay, there we go. This I want to read. Heart of the Fae by Emma Hamm. I've heard Emma Hamm is fantastic when it comes to romantasy, but I just don't find myself reading romantasy that often. The Girl of Dorcha Wood. I just don't even know what this is about. Treacherous, evil, dark. Dorcha Wood is all of these things and none of them. The people of Felmore talk of Dorcha Wood in whispers, if they speak of it at all, fearing the wrath of the Kusith. Should their words be carried on the wind, those murdering beasts still roam the dark of the forest, the last remnants of the cursed Owls see, a race of elves long since vanished from the world. But to 17-year-old Fiad, it is home, haven, a forest whose secrets become known only when it chooses to reveal them. Her life is one of bound. This just doesn't sound good to me. I'm sorry. This one's gonna go. This one's got to go. Remove. Also, this one, it's young adult. The cover, gorgeous. It sounds good, but it's young adult, and I'm just not that interested in young adult anymore. I will be leaving The Unspoken Name. This is an anthology I do think I'm going to remove. Tender is a Flesh. I feel like I have this book on ebook. This has to be a duplicate, right? You want to read another edition. Is it that one? You're telling me I don't have this on ebook? I could have swore I did. Oh, you know what? I borrowed it from the library once and just never read it. That's what it was. I will read Some Desperate Glory. This one, I think it's romancy, but it's queer, so I'm going to leave it. The Magi Menagerie. I literally don't even know about. I don't know. I'm going to remove it. It doesn't sound familiar to me. I would like to try Goth by Otsuchi. It's quite old, but I've heard it's good. I want to read more Chuck Wendig. This one as well, The Nature of Witches. It's YA. I'm just not interested. I've heard it's good, but I don't think it's for me. I will try A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I think I have this on ebook. Let's see. I don't have this on ebook? That feels like a lie. I could have swore I did. Oh well, we'll leave it there for now. John Gwynne, of course, I'll be reading that. Poetry from the Indigenous Americas. Ooh, I didn't know I had that on there. I'm going to leave it. I don't read poetry a lot, but I used to write poetry in high school, so of course I'm leaving that. Throne of the Crescent Moon. Wait, this cover is pretty. Wait, is this what AI? No, it's not. Oh my God. It's like a bald Jesus. Wait, this looks so funny. Okay, that cover looked. I'm not even going to read the synopsis because the cover is so funny. I'm definitely reading it. The Dragonbone chair, I feel like I do have this, which I feel like I say a lot about a lot of things, but like the cover looks so familiar. You're telling me I don't own that? Okay, whatever. Nora by Nnedi Okorafor, I'll probably read. First Sister sounds so good. Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. Have I read anything else by this author? It says contemporary. I don't think I'm gonna like this one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna delete that. Life in Uncommon Stars I want to read. For the Wolf I would like to try. Plain Bad Heroines, I'm not interested in anymore. We're deleting it. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. I would love to read this. The cover, so stunning. It says dystopian science fiction. I think this is going to be really emotional as well. Elise Kova, I want to try this. I read 2 of her other books. A Dance with the, what is it? A Dance with the Fae. I can't remember what they're called. They're the Married to Magic ones. I read 2 of those. Those were good. I don't think I want to continue that series, but this one, I've heard this one's better, so I will probably try that one. This one, The Vanished Queen by Lizbeth Campbell. I don't know anything about you. It says it's queer. Should we read the instructions? Should we read the description? Long ago, Queen Marantha vanished. King Karolji claimed it was an assassination by a neighboring king, but everyone knew it was a lie. He had disappeared her himself, but after finding the missing queen's diary, Anza, impassioned by her father's unjust execution and inspired by Marantha's words, joins the resistance group to overthrow the king. When an encounter with Prince Esvar thrusts her into dangerous game of court politics, one misstep. I'm sorry, it sounds like a lot of other books I've read before. So I'm just going to delete it. Gods of Jade and Shadow, I would like to try. Root Magic, I've heard is fantastic. I will be reading that at some point. This one, The Queen's Assassin by Melissa de la Cruz. I also don't think I want to read that one. Ember and the Ice Dragons is by Heather Fawcett, who wrote Emily Wilde, and I would love to read that with my son. Same for Foxheart by Claire Legrand. This one by Django Wexler. If I like his other book, How to Kill a Dark Lord or Die Trying, I'll probably keep that one on here. That's Way sounds great. I need to get to it. Kingdom of the Wicked. I feel like I have this on ebook. Is that true? Let's find out. I wish there was an easier way to determine if you had duplicates. Okay, I don't think there is. I just don't know if I'm interested in this one. It's young adult. I'm gonna delete it. I'm sorry. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, however, that sounds good. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. I read Tempest of Tea, and I was very, very disappointed in it, but I've heard that We Hunt the Flame is way better. So I'm gonna give it a try. I would love to read Happiness. I've heard that's a good manga. The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chachki, I've heard is good. Cased, The Origins of Our Discontents. I will be reading it someday. I think I actually have a copy, pardon me, on my shelf behind me. But I haven't marked it as read because it's not like something I'm going to read for fun. It's like something I'll do for like educational purposes. So I'm just going to leave that there. The Deep by Nick Cutter, I will try. Tomi, I would like to try. Venus in the Blind Spot, I would like to try. Ghost Squad by Clarabelle A. Ortega. I've heard is fun, and I'll probably read it with my kid someday, but I'm just going to take it off my personal TBR. Catherine House. Oh my God, I keep forgetting this exists. I want to read it. Ghostwood Song, I am going to delete this though. I don't think I care. Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I would love to read eventually. Mapping the Interior. Oh, that's short. I didn't realize how short it was. I will be keeping that. Black Sun, I would like to try as well. The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. I read I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by him, and I unfortunately hated it. I'm just going to remove this. His writing style, not for me. This one I would love to try. I need to read more sci-fi. The Princess Bride is quite old. I actually think I'm just going to delete it. I love the movie. I don't want to taint my experience of the movie. The Good Son sounds like a good book. It's also translated, I believe. Children of Time, I would like to try. This one, I literally don't remember hearing about it. Let's see what it's about, shall we? They call them savages, brutal, efficient, expendable. Is this a white guy? What's his name? Matt Wallace, author. Yeah, this is a white guy. I'm not going to read a book where a white author is calling anyone a savage. So, goodbye. Empire of Gold. I have the first 2. I need to reread them. This one I would like to try. Zara the Windseeker. I feel like I've never seen this cover before. That's also short. Then Will the Sun Rise Alabaster. This is really short. What the fuck? What series is this part of? Hello? I don't know where the hell this came from. We're deleting it. I've never heard of it. Sorry to this man. Same thing here. Stamped Racism, Anti-Racism, and You. I would also love to read this. I think I have it on ebook, but it's in my nonfiction collection because it's not really like a book I'm reading for enjoyment. So I will just keep that. It's more for education. The Last Flight, Julie Clark. I think this one is where two women agree to kill each other's husbands or something like that. I'm going to try it. Akweke Emezi, I would love that. I love their writing. Pet is one of my favorite YA books. It's so good. N.K. Jemisin, I did DNF the Broken Earth trilogy. I read book 1 and 2. And then kind of just lost interest. I would love to try something else from her. A Phoenix First Must Burn, 16 Stories of Black Girl Magic. Ooh, this is it's short. Well, short for an anthology. This is an anthology I will be keeping. The Kingdom of Liars. This is a long book. If this synopsis doesn't grip me, it's gotta go. Michael, the main character's name is Michael. Hate it already. Michael is branded a traitor as a child because of the murder of the king's 9-year-old son by his father, David. My dad's name was Michael, and I have an uncle, David. So this is awkward. 10 years later on, Michael lives a hard scrabble life with his sister Gwen, performing crimes with his friends against minor royals in a weak attempt at striking back at the world that rejects him and his family. In a world where memory is the coin that pays for magic, Michael knows something is there in the hot white emptiness of his mind. I'm not interested in this. I'm so sorry. Next. The Forbidden Expedition. Oh, wait, this is cute. Okay, I am going to leave that there. I read the first book for Polarthon like 2 years ago. I need to continue. Those are really cute kids books. I should read the first one with my son, actually. This one I want to try. This one I want to try. This one sounds really cute, and I just keep forgetting about it, so I'm just going to take it off. I'm sorry. This one I want to try. Do I not own this on ebook? I feel like I do. No, maybe the cover just looks familiar. Okay, I guess not. I would love to try The Aeronauts Windless. I'm not going to read My Hero Act. I've lost interest in that, in the manga and the anime. Frostheart, I'm sure it's great. I don't think I want to read it. Maybe with my son someday. I just don't know. Moon of the Crusted Snow I've heard is good. Spellslinger, I think I've lost interest in this. I'm so sorry. This one I also think I own. Can we open this in a new link? I thought I had this on ebook. I feel like I might have deleted it and just never took it off my TBR. Crier's War as well. I have lost interest in this. It's YA. It is queer though. I've heard it's sapphic, so I feel like sapphic YA. War Girls, I think I would like to try, although it is young adult, but it's science fiction, so it might be better, like as far as my tastes go, because young adult fantasy is really where I struggle, and romance. Fireborn, I've heard is great. I do want to read that, even though it's YA. Mooncakes, I think I'm probably never going to read it, but if I do pick it up, it's quick and it's a graphic novel. So same thing with I Hear the Sunspot. I don't think I'm going to read this. Foundry Side, I for sure want to read. This book by Laini Taylor, I would like to give a try, even though I didn't like Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Strange Dreamer is one of my favorites. So The Sword of Shannara. I loved the show on Netflix. That's probably an unpopular opinion because Austin Butler was in it, and I feel like a lot of people hated him in it, but like it's probably the only thing I've liked him in. I would love to watch. I wish they never canceled it. I would love to try the books. Into the Drowning Deep, I want to try. This anthology, I do want to try. I would like to try Red Sister, but Mark Lawrence is a piece of shit, isn't he? I think I have another book by him on here anyways. I'm going to look into that, and then if that's correct, I'll probably take those off. Sleeping Giants, I want to try. I read a short story by Sylvain Nouvelle called The Test, and it was fantastic, and it blew my mind. So good. This one I don't think I want to read, but I feel like I have this ebook. Oh, are these new covers? These look like new covers. Yeah, look, what the fuck? This is the cover I remember. I don't own this, huh? Why are these covers so different? This one is like so whimsical and it looks young. It looks very young. And the other one is not. Like, this is the one I remember. I think I'm going to delete this. The Golem and the Jinni, this cover, this book came out in 2013. I have been drawn to this book since it came out. You know how old I was in 2013? 23. Do you know how old I am now? I'm about to be 36. I just still want to read it. And An Enchantment of Ravens, I know that it's YA, but it's a standalone and it's short, and I've heard that it's really good, even though it's a YA romantasy. I've heard that it is kind of a slow burn, even though it's a shorter book. So like, you know, it builds up nicely within the pacing of the plot. So I'm going to give it a shot. That's quite a bit of books I've taken off here. So let's go back to the top and see. Oh wait, I totally could have hit this button. There we go. 218 books. I feel like we made a big difference. Although I do still have all the books that, how do I reset the filter? Clear filters. So now what do I have? 451. So I think I took off like 40 something books, right? I feel like that was great. Well, I feel a little better now about my TBR. It is still quite long. I don't think it will ever not be hundreds of books long, but it does feel more curated now to stuff that I am still interested in. I took off quite a bit of YA. I took off some middle grade as well, and quite a few manga that I had lost interest in. I mean, I do still love manga. I'm currently reading Witch Hat Atelier, and I need to finish the Demon Slayer manga. So like I'm still reading manga. I just lost interest in some of them. So now my TBR feels refreshed and ready. It is the end of July when I'm filming this, and August is my birthday month. So it just feels nice to kind of like reset everything when my age gets older, just to make sure my tastes are still aligning with what my TBR says. If you made it this far in the video, leave a book stack emoji down in the comments. Let me know if you've read any of these as well, and if you think I should take any off or put any back on. I would love to know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!